braced himself. He had studied the rock formations around him hundreds of times. He would have to know them by heart in order to survive. The red water churned around him, quickly rising to the level of his knees. Some of his fellow slaves kept stoking fires under the vats as if nothing were happening, as if drowning underground were part of the natural process of all things. The man slipped off the torn rags of what was once a beautifully hand-stitched shirt. He was gaunt, nearly starved, his rib-cage protruding. He had long passed the point of hunger and had reached a place of profound indifference. A golden vegetable root and sip of cool water were all he needed to keep up what little strength he had left. The waters raged. The man needed to stay in his chamber, with the distant light suspended high above him at the top of the cavern. The torrents of red water swirled around his stomach. The man used his shirt to tie himself to a narrow stalagmite jutting from the ground like a smooth spear. The water level reached the man's chest, rising at an astonishing rate. The man had seen storms and floods, but nothing like this. Twigs, roots, leaves, rags, and rocks swirled around him. Several antibody lashes, tendrils, darted past him. The water swelled in the rocky chamber. The man took a deep breath. The flood slapped him like a stick in high wind, slamming his weak body against the spear of rock, rising above his neck, his head, higher and higher. The water crashed back and forth, then swirled in a frenzied whirlpool. The man waited until the last possible moment, then untied himself from the stalagmite. He rose blindly through the water, using its upward force to propel himself along the rock walls. He knew when to twist, when to arch his back until it felt as if it were breaking. The man had been a skilled swimmer once. Now he struggled. The disk of light at the top of his world was growing. If he didn't snap his neck or drown before he reached it, he would be free. Closer. Closer. The torrent of water slammed him against a jutting stone. His right ankle exploded with pain. Still, he was drawing near the top of the chamber. So far, he was alive. Beyond exhaustion, starvation, agony, beyond his indifference to death, lay a new realm above him cloaked with hope. A single voice, a single note, did not kindly ask him a question. It demanded an action. Live! The raging waters erupted, spewing like a fantastic geyser from the underground passage, releasing their noxious substances on the surface of the planet. The disk of light that the man had dreamed about for so long was nothing more than a hole in the ground. There was no magic to it, no passage to a HayVen beyond all bliss. It was simply a natural cavity in the rock and grass, a slim passage. He raised his arms over his head. His lean body shot like an arrow through the opening. The man slid through mud and rolled onto his back, gasping for air. He coughed up muddy brown water. His ankle throbbed. His lungs burned. He slowly opened his eyes. Somehow, he was still alive. The sky was painfully bright, a brilliant red with flecks of black ash. The floodwater continued to gush from the bowels of the planet. It took him a while to realize that for the first time in countless phase cycles, he was outside of the caves. The world was below him, not above. The vile waters from the depths of Dulunae eddied about him. The man could not rest. He had to climb to a higher vantage point. The sky repeatedly flashed with white light, then faded to red. The ground shook. Trees fell from an invisible hand of brute force. Triangular objects that looked like shards of glass darted about him in wild migration. The man slowly clambered up a rocky hill, the red water lapping his legs. He breathed heavily, feeling pressure in his ribcage. His heart pounded wildly. He wondered if it would have been better to die in the caves than live through this. A tall, ancient tree near him toppled. Its roots reached helplessly in all directions. Boulders rolled downhill toward him. Birds fell like black raindrops from the heavens, landing at his feet, flapping their wings. The man climbed to a flat patch of grass on the hill.